If debt has taken over your life, don't give up. Never surrender. You've found the Debt Relief Radio Network. Attorney David Siegel.
Welcome to the Debt Relief Radio Network. My name is David Siegel. A little bit about myself. I am an attorney here in Illinois. I've been licensed since 1991. I'm a member of the American Bankruptcy Institute and a former member of the National Association of Consumer Bankruptcy Attorneys. I've been featured on Fox News, Chicago Tribune, Daily Herald, and I've written a book called Chapter 7 Success, The Complete Guide to Surviving Personal Bankruptcy. 888-669-9300. If you'd like to receive a complimentary copy of that book, we would be happy to send it out to you. And that's 888-669-9300. You can also reach us on the internet at debtreliefradionetwork.com. That's debtreliefradionetwork.com. And I want to welcome to the show Scott McKay. Scott, welcome in, sir.
Thank you very much, David.
Let's take a listen to your new report.
Hi, it's Scott McKay for the Debt Relief Radio Network. Let's check our debt relief index. We do have a couple of new surveys. This one from CareerBuilder.com. 61% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. That's up from 21% last year. And that is the latest debt relief index. I am Scott McKay. Let's put you back to David Siegel.
Well, thank you for that report, Scott. That was excellent.
I've been in the radio business 30 years. This is the first time I think I've lived paycheck to paycheck in 20 years.
If I wind up helping somebody with a Chapter 7, at the end of the case, they've got their fresh start.
Right.
They're back on their feet. They're able to be productive citizens again. They could purchase a car within 120 days. They don't have to be strapped into a long payment plan with a creditor. If they really qualify for Chapter 7, in other words, if they don't have the ability to repay their debt, the government, the law, the bankruptcy laws afford them that fresh start. Let's welcome in Lauren Comator. Lauren, how are you tonight?
I'm very good. How are you, sir?
I'm good. And you are bringing us the debt relief news, as you always do.
Always do. Page 1, right at the top. Attorney generals from 41 states are urging the Federal Trade Commission to get tough. Tougher regulations would help rein in some of the most deceptive and unfair practices, he stated. The new law should have, number one, prohibit companies from charging fees until they've performed their services. Number two, ensure full disclosure to consumers, including informing the consumer of the length of time it takes to settle debts and at what cost. And finally, number three, prohibit misrepresentation concerning fees, their success rates, and the impact the services will have on a consumer's credit history.
Right, and I'm sure you've noticed, as I have, on television, on the radio, the advertisements for this type of service are through the roof. But they always say, and this is the part that I find interesting, if you have more than $10,000 worth of debt, call them. In other words, they don't want to help the little guy. They don't want to help somebody who's got a $2,500 credit card bill. You have to have more than $10,000 worth of debt because that's how they make their money. See, that's the catch. There's something in it for them. They're not doing it for free.
Right. So buyer beware. And
that's right.
That's the news for tonight.
I always recommend you go to a seasoned professional in your local area who handles that type of work on a day-to-day basis. And if you're somebody who's struggling with debt, if you're considering debt settlement or debt consolidation, you should definitely consider Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 bankruptcy as well, because those chapters have a lot more strength. Those are federal laws that were put in place to help people, those that either need a fresh start or those that want to consolidate and repay over time. And that's through attorneys. And they're governed by the U.S. District Court in this area. It's federal bankruptcy law. It's not a joke. It's very serious. You have to be licensed, and you're accountable to the court. The court in bankruptcy oversees all the fees that the attorneys charge. I don't know if that's happening with debt settlement. Special segment called Should I File? Let's start with Gary Henderson from Chicago. Gary has a single-family home with a market value of $425,000 and a mortgage of $405,000. He is current on his payments, and he would like to keep his home. He also has a 2004 GMC Yukon with a market value of $11,000 and a financing lien of $11,600. He's current on his truck payment, and he would like to keep his truck. In terms of personal property, Gary has a small checking account with $2,000 in it, some minor household goods, TV, furniture, normal clothing. He has no retirement accounts. He's single with a 15-year-old son. He works in a restaurant. He earns approximately $3,900 per month, and his monthly expenses are $4,200 per month. He has no co-debtors, meaning no one else owes money on these debts except him. He doesn't owe for any student loans, and he has no tax debt, either state or federal. But the problem is he has $68,000 in credit card debt. He only makes the minimum payment each month. He doesn't see any light at the end of the tunnel, and he feels it's killing him. Gary, the answer in your case is absolutely yes. The home you can keep, you have a little bit of equity, but not enough equity to the point where a Chapter 7 trustee would take it from you. As long as you can make that current payment, you can keep your house free and clear. As far as the truck, you don't have any equity in it. You're negative $600. It's worth $11,000. You owe $11,600. So if you want to keep that truck, not a problem. Keep making your payments. Your personal property is relatively small, and the law allows you to keep a certain dollar amount of property. In fact, $4,000 miscellaneous property could be protected in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and you can still eliminate your debt. So I would definitely recommend a Chapter 7. The $68,000 in credit card debt, provided you haven't used the cards recently, provided you haven't taken any recent cash advances, and provided you haven't done anything fraudulent, we can eliminate that $68,000 worth of credit card debt and get you a fresh start, a new lease on life where you can go ahead and be productive again. You can start purchasing in the future. You can start going out and contributing towards society and helping your neighbors and their businesses. So if you can get rid of that $68,000 worth of debt and eliminate that stress, I think you'd be a lot better off. So Chapter 7 is definitely the answer for you. 888-669-9300. You're listening to the Debt Relief Radio Network. Let's say hello to Debbie in Oswego. Debbie, you're on the Debt Relief Radio Network with Dave Siegel. How can I help you?
Hi, how long does it take to get a credit card after filing bankruptcy?
To get a credit card after filing. Wow. Well, you are a typical caller, Debbie. You're someone who is interested in getting credit again, getting back into debt before you've gotten out of debt. Let's get you out of debt and forget about the credit card. The good news is, from your standpoint, you will be able to get a credit card. In fact, before your Chapter 7 bankruptcy case is even over, you are going to receive numerous solicitations from credit card companies. So the good news for you is you will see credit after bankruptcy, and the plastic kind very soon. The bad news is that you might fall back in debt again, which is something I don't want to see. Debt warning signs. This is something you should be looking out for. If you're only making the minimum payment on your credit cards, that's something you better worry about, because making the minimum payment will only make the credit card company rich, and it'll take you quite a bit of years to pay off your debt. Number 2, if you've been turned down for credit or you've seen your credit line decrease, that's a problem. Number 3, if you've exhausted your savings or if you're taking cash advances to pay your normal bills, that's a problem. Number 4, we've seen this quite a bit. You're one paycheck away, whether it be an illness or a termination, from not being able to make your mortgage, car payment, family payments, whatever. And number 5, the most obvious one, but I touch upon it last so you'll remember it. If creditors are calling you, there is a problem. So those are the top 5 debt warning signs that you need to worry about. I will provide you with solutions to either get you out of debt or provide a payment plan so that you consolidate through a Chapter 13 trustee. Not debt consolidation, not debt settlement, but debt reorganization under Chapter 13 bankruptcy laws. And let me leave you with this thought. I love what I do. I love helping people get out of debt. They come into my office. They have all kinds of stress. They have credit card debt, medical bills, personal loans. They might be subject to losing their home. Help is available. You can be helped. 888-669-9300. I don't care how you got out of debt, or got into debt, rather. My goal is to get you out of debt. Again, I don't care how you got into debt. My goal is to get you out of debt. 888-669-9300. We can definitely help you either with a Chapter 7 fresh start or a Chapter 13 debt reorganization plan. And pick up a copy of Chapter 7 Success, the complete guide to surviving personal bankruptcy, which will give you all the information you need to know to get out of debt through a qualified attorney. 888-669-9300. We'll see you next time on the Debt Relief Radio Network. My name is David Siegel.